Hey guys, and welcome to a quick tutorial on getting a new Mel script set up in Maya. So what I mean by Mel script is the commands that Maya uses to do anything is represented by that language, which is called Mel, which stands for Maya Express Language. So you can see here in the bottom right corner, there's a little icon, and if you click that icon, it'll bring up what's called the script editor. And I'm just bringing this up real quick to show you that kind of everything that you're doing in Maya gets captured here in this little log window. And you can use these commands kind of all at once in your own script. So if I were to select that sphere, you can see that it says select sphere 1 here. If I click away, it says select clear. If I move it, you can see that it kind of has a little representation of how to move. So all these different commands that Maya does can all be represented by its own little language here. So if I were to copy this instruction in the history and then paste it in this window that says Mel, you can see that now this move thing has a different color, so that indicates that it's an actual command. And then up here, if I hit the little double play button, what that means is to run the command but don't delete it. So if I do that, you can see that it kind of, so if I was over here and then I clicked move, it'll keep moving it, right? So it's kind of cool. Anyway, all of this is to say that you might notice that up here I have a couple little custom buttons, and these are things that I've found to be useful in my own workflow. So anything that I've identified that could speed me up. But the one that I'm going to show you how to install today is called BH Ghost. And what that does is it's kind of like a poor man's onion skinning. So in animation, you can, it all came from 2D. So in 2D, onion skinning is something that animators would do to help plan their animation. So if you look here, you can see like kind of a little bit of a representation of what an onion skin is. Actually, this is a really good one. So you can see this would be the frame that you're currently on. This is a previous frame. This is maybe 2 frames ago. This is the next frame, and this is the next frame. So you can see kind of where your animation is going, and you can hopefully smooth out any problems. Maya doesn't really have a great way of doing this, which is surprising these days, but this little script can help you plan out your motion a little bit more easily. So if I have a sphere that maybe has a little bit of animation on it, like that, and say I was on frame 24 and I wanted to have that as a reference position for a later frame of animation, I really have no way of kind of getting that reference at the moment. So what this script can do is actually save a little representation that's just an outline of what that is, but it's like kind of a 3D outline. It's pretty cool. So at any point, once that object has been added to the script, I can just say, you know, ghost and save that position, ghost. And so you can see on the now that this is nice and referenced, this would be really useful for getting you know, walk cycles smoothed out, or in a previous video I mentioned about parent constraints. So if you had turned off a parent constraint and your object had snapped way over into the corner, if you had ghosted the position of that object before you turn off the constraint, you can easily get it right back into place because you know exactly where it should go. Okay, so to get going, we'll actually go ahead and shut down Maya, because what we're going to do is put a file in the right place, and then Maya will be able to go and read that file once we get it all set up. So I'll just close it down, won't save anything. And in the class folder, or the Google Drive class folder, you can see that I have these 2 files. One is called bhghostmel and bhghosticon. Go ahead and download both of those. It shouldn't take very long. They're both very, very small. Yeah, go ahead and save. And then save this one too. Okay. And then just go ahead and put them on your desktop for now so that you can easily get to them. You don't have to go searching. All right, I'll minimize my internet, bring up my file explorer. So I'm on Windows, and the location of where I need to go for Windows is under Documents, Maya, whatever year, whatever year you're using. I'm using Maya 2019, so go ahead and select that, and then select Prefs, and then Scripts. So inside of here, you can see that I already have BH Ghost. So that's actually where you would have dragged that folder. So find your Mel file, you drag it in there. I'll go ahead and replace it, sure, just so you can see that it's working. And then I'll go back up one level. So now I'm inside of just the Preferences folder. Go inside of Icons, and go ahead and drop the little BH Ghost icon in here. And then you're all set. So go ahead and minimize that. And with those files in place, you can go ahead and open Maya back up. Hopefully this won't take too long. While it's opening up, I'll explain that we needed to put those files in those locations because Maya, when it's running scripts, it looks in those specific folders to see if they actually exist. So when we run our little command bhghost, it looks in its own script folder and it says, hey, is there a Mel file in here that that has this command in it? And because we just added it, it will. And so it will add that functionality to Maya. All right, so to get this little icon up here on your shelf, it's pretty easy. I'll go ahead and switch back over to polymodeling just so you can see what's going to happen. So once again, I'll click on the little shortcut down here at the bottom for script editor. I will go ahead and delete this. Make sure that the tab that says Mel has nothing in it. And what you want to do is type BH and then capital G HOST. So BH Ghost, then open and close parentheses and semicolon. So this is a command that Maya will recognize that's looking for a function called BH Ghost. And when you run that, because we just added that script, it should bring up a little window, just like that. All right, so I can close that. So anytime you run this command, it's going to create this. And how you add this up to your shelf is pretty easy. You can just highlight it, middle click on it, highlight it, middle click and drag, and see how my mouse now has a little plus sign? If I go up here into my shelf, you can see that it has a little line. And when you let go, it creates this little default icon. Your default icon might be different than mine depending on the year, but that just basically is indicating that there's a new button on the shelf. And so to customize the look of that button, all you got to do is right click on it, say edit, and then you can see here that the command that we just copied over is saved under the command tab. If you click on the shelves tab, this is where you can customize the position and also the look. So right now the icon name is named command button. That's just the default one that Maya puts in there. So if you click on the little folder button, it automatically goes into the icons folder that we previously added the icon to. So you should be able to select the BH Ghost icon, say open. Now it's the little ghost guy, and you say save all shelves. So now your button looks like a little ghost. So if you close your script editor and you click on that button, it should now bring up your script. And so how this script works is any mesh that you select and say add meshes, it's going to put in here in the box of meshes that it will save, or it will kind of render out this little outline. You can change the color of your outline here. So I'll switch it over to white just to demo. You can hit the triangle to minimize, and then you have access to the other buttons. So you can change, if you were to hit ghost at this point, because I've added this sphere as one of the meshes, it puts an outline around the sphere in whatever position that it currently is in. So anywhere where in this frame this object is, it'll update. If I go farther down the timeline and I move and I hit ghost, then now this is a new position and it can save the different positions of the object. The other way, oh, and so these other two buttons are basically you can turn off or on the visibility of your saved positions. You can, if you know the exact frame that your reference was taken on, and you can actually do a little cheat to see where that is. If you, over here, you can see it creates a little object by automatically as you press these buttons. If you hit the plus sign, you can see the numbers next to them actually represent the frame that that object is on. So I know that there is a ghost on frame 18. So if I'm on frame 18 and I say bust 1, it'll just get rid of that one. And similarly, if I say bust all, it will get rid of all of them. Okay. The last, I guess, little trick with this script is if an object is already selected and you activate the script, it will automatically put that object in the meshes that are currently in there. So it'll add that. So that's basically how BH Ghost works. That's also how you can install Mel Script. Once again, it's inside of the Documents, Maya, the year, prefs, and then scripts. And then you put it in there. Okay, any questions? Then you can, and actually just so that you have a reference maybe as a screenshot, this is the file location. You can just replace, Kirby Culbertson with whatever your username is, but that's the Windows location for your scripts. And now that I'm thinking about it, you probably, if you're on a Mac, you'll need to know the address on a Mac. Mac, my script folder. There we go. All right, and here it is on a Mac. And I guess the one trick that we learned in class the other day that you need to do to get to this is library is by default hidden. So if you hold Option, when you click on the Go tab at the top of just your basic desktop menu, that will unlock that folder, and then you can install things there by, for future stuff. If you got questions on that, you can just ask me in class. It might sound tricky, but it's just a little bit of a thing that Mac likes to put in so that you don't accidentally modify files that you're not supposed to modify. All right, let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you later.